my name right. It is a really weird name. I've stuck with it since birth. Moj. I sound like a disease. I don't know if my mum just kind of screamed and just kind of shouted some weird sounding label when the doctor said push. And he was holding the birth certificate and he went, Moj? Right, fine, I'll put it down if you want. I was thinking James or Peter. But it's a weird name, I know. I tell you this for a reason, because what I want to do is, I want to be, before I get onto this subject of employability, which I know is boring. I used to sit here in these sessions in my sixth form college, and I was just like, oh God, if I was told I had to come to any talk to do with choices, guidance, employability, careers, apprenticeships, university, I used to just go, oh, I don't want to go. I used to hate it. I did. Now I love it because I spend my life travelling around the country and doing this. The last 6 years I've spoken to about 150,000 15 to 19-year-olds, and probably in about hundreds of schools. I love it. It's what I love doing. I firstly, because whenever I do these talks, God bless you.
Sorry.
God, you alright? Cop up a lung or something. Right, so you're okay. You're okay to continue. Do you need some water? Medication?
I'm alright.
Pills? Alright, yeah? Okay, good. Right. So, not those type of pills. Okay, right.
Yes, please.
Maybe you're already on some. Right, so, definitely on some. Right, so I genuinely try to think. When I've done about 750 workshops on employability. The reason I love doing them is because I didn't understand it. I did not understand what employability meant, and I thought it was this boring thing, which I'm sure you'll all be thinking it is. I used to sit there age 16, 17, dragged along to this stuff. No one would explain themselves. I'd get some visitor who would just wear one of these, and they wouldn't say, they just wear this, which is, it's almost like a crown of like wearing it as though like you have to listen to me, like a crown of respect. I'm going, I don't know who you are. Surely you're sat there looking at me going, I don't know who you are. How do you know the stuff you're going to tell me? You're sat there thinking, how do you know that this stuff is, where am I getting this information from? And are you a human being? Because so many people just used to wear these and seem like robots. And if they were boring, it made me think the subject they were talking about was boring. So I want to be more than this, okay? I want to be more than just a lanyard, okay? I want to actually, I'm trying to really think about, if I was watching this, it's almost like I planned this thing to be free. I'm trying to think, if I was watching this session, if I go back in my mind now and I try and imagine I was 17 again, and when I say, when I was 17 again, I don't mean that as a patronising thing. Please don't think, if I say to you, you are young people, or I say you're 17 or 18, I mean that as a compliment, because I wish I was 17 or 18. Again, I'm an old man now, but I tried to think, if I was watching this, what would I want to hear? I was 17, I was told I had to come to an employability talk. What kind of things in 45 minutes would I find, and this is the key word, and we'll come back to this because it's to do with employability, what would I find useful? What would I find useful? Firstly, what I would find useful is impartiality. I don't like it when people try and sell themselves to me. I don't like it when a speaker comes and it seems like they're there more for their benefit than yours. And it just seems like they're trying to promote something to you. I don't want to be sold to. I'm not going to do that. Firstly, I'm not here to sell these guys to you. I'm here to say they're pretty good if you want to go to any of them. I mean, you've come here already at this one. So yeah, hopefully you feel it's good. But what I want to do is I want to explain who I am. So I'm here from Push, and these guys. These guys approached us to work with us. I approached them to work with them because I went, my God, I wish I had them come and speak to me when I was 17. So I banged on their door and said, can I do some talks for you? Can you train me up? That's a key thing as well. I am trained on this stuff. About 7 years of talking about choices, employability, different routes you can go into. So hopefully that answers a question for you. You know where I'm getting this information from. I'm just going to talk rubbish. And Push, very quickly, it's been going 25 years. So since 1992. I've not been with them that long, not that old, but I've been with them for about 7 years, and I love what they do. They're a not-for-profit organisation that just exists to help you guys with your choices. Impartially. We're not told what to say, we just say it like it is. People often come to us because they want to work with us, because they like what we do for students. So that's what Push is. And I'm not here to say you need to go and check all this out afterwards. If you want to go and check it out afterwards, do, because it is useful. I don't want to say you have to do that. So Force approached us, and those guys are basically a collection of all of those. It says there, a federation of regional colleges for this. They said, go and just run something, that's the word engagement there, they said, go and run something useful for students. We don't want to come and feel like we're selling ourselves, just come and run something useful. So they funded this session. Usually places pay a lot of money, colleges and schools pay hundreds of pounds for us to come in and run stuff. But the good thing is they funded it, which is really nice. And they're part of this, which is a national collaborative outreach programme. So it's running across the UK. But, you know, enough of the boring stuff. I want to quickly say this, alright? Give me, so I can be more than this to you, alright? Give me 2 minutes, okay? I'll explain in 2 minutes what I'm doing here, what I'm really doing here, alright? A bit about me as a human being. And if you don't want to listen to me after that 2 minutes for the rest of the session, I don't care. I don't care. I'm tired. Give me thanks. This is called life, alright? I live in London. London is stressful. I've lived there for about 13 years. I moved there when I was 18 to go to university. I don't know what, no one else was. I'm from Manchester. I'm from just a little kind of the suburbs of Manchester. I'm not from a rich family. No one had been to uni in my family. And I just went, London, I'll go to London, that seems cool. Did not know what I was doing. I love it now, but it is tiring. So I've come from London last night to speak to you. I want to speak to you if you want to listen to me. I genuinely mean this. I want you not to sit there and just think, oh yeah, I've got to lie on the way out to my teachers, and when they say, is that useful? You just say, yeah, it was really good, and then you turn to your mates afterwards and go, that was great! What was that guy talking about? I fell asleep halfway through. I had an amazing dream. Tell my friends about it afterwards, but no, and then I woke up right at the end. No, I want you to actually, I want it to be your choice. I want you genuinely, after this 120 seconds of me telling you a little story about myself, which is why I think you should listen to me. On top of, hopefully, all this and where you know I'm getting the information from, but in my 120-second story, afterwards, I want you to decide if you want to listen. I really hope you do want to listen, because I've got some good stuff to tell you. But here's my story, okay? So let's start it now. So you know my name, you know where I come from. My full name is Moj Taylor, alright? My dad is from England. He's a hard-working, grafted northerner, typical mank, grumpy, bald. He's like the dad in Billy Elliot, alright? He's really grumpy. Yeah, art and fancy creative stuff. He's like, no. He's like engineering, mechanics. Oh, he's very practical. He's a carpenter. And my dad said to me, don't go to uni. Said, don't go to university, don't need to go to university. Said, no one in the family's been our type of people, we don't go to university, alright? So our type of people, alright? You're different to your parents, you're a different generation. You are different, but you're built differently, alright? You might have some things they tell you that they want you to do, or certain things, but you are different, and that's going to be a crucial thing about today. You're different to them. And I'm different to my dad, I love him, but I don't like sawdust. My dad said, take over the family business. I went, I've got asthma. Dad, if I take over your factory, I will run the bloody thing into the ground, alright? Talk about employability, I will destroy your company if you want me to take it over. Just so you can say, oh, it's a family that my son's taking it over now. I was like, some people aren't built for certain things. Or even if I developed skills in it, I wouldn't be passionate about it, which is a key thing. You can be good at something, but if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to want to do it. So, my dad said to me, don't go to uni, go and do that. My mum said to me, no, do go to university. Because she's Asian, my mum is from Hong Kong, it's the Moj side, and apparently all Asians have to study medicine. That's the thing, right? You're just blacklisted from the world. You know, you go into any Chinese takeaway, they go, not serving you. I'm sorry. Why? Because you didn't choose medicine. Alright? Yeah, it's awful. Seriously. I'm like, what? This is my mum saying this, alright? My mum said, you have to go to uni and you have to do medicine. You know, if you're stupid, maybe be a dentist, you know, dentist, stupid medic. You know, I was like, what are you talking about? It's awful. I love my mum, I love my dad. But we used to argue at the dinner table about what my future was going to be, what I was going to be employed in, which is what I'm going to talk to you about, and what my choices were. It got so bad, my dad, twice in my life, has called me a... Which I'm not allowed to say, because we're in college. No one knows swear words, so they magically wake up at 18 and just kind of take one step out of college, or you take 5 seconds after midnight when you turn 18, you wake your mum up, and then you go, Mum, you just swear in her face! Because you go, I don't know where these words are coming from, Mum, because I'm so good, I never knew them before the age of 18. I'm not that patronising, okay? I just can't say that because we're in college, but hopefully you know, hopefully you were shocked. My dad didn't say it in a sarcastic way, he's being mean. He said, it's right the first time was when I said I wanted to go to uni, he went, I said, I don't want to do drama. He went, whoa, drama? You remember Billy Elliot? When he says, Dad, I want to be a ballet dancer, things like that. He just kept going, Shakespeare! Shakespeare! Who's Shakespeare? He just kept saying, what are you talking about? I'm not going to study Shakespeare. He threw a plate at me. A plate. An actual plate. I'm not talking a party plate, a paper one, I'm talking a plate. Alright? Hit the wall. After it hit my face. Alright? Plate and potato. Potato hit me there. Jacket potato. My dad's jacket. He doesn't give up jacket potatoes easily. That's his favourite food. That's how annoyed he was at me about my choice. He said, I'm going to sacrifice my jacket potato and smack you in the face with it. It was awful. The second time he called me it was when I went to university just to annoy him. I went to London to get far away from them. I love them, but I said, I can't deal with this anymore. And my dad used to call me up every day. I did Spanish and drama at university. My dad was a bit more like, Spanish is a bit more academic, and I can see how, he said, I can see how that's a useful thing. I'll come back to that term, useful. He said, I can see how drama is not. Spanish, that's a useful thing, a language maybe, if you want to be employed in the future. You can go travel the world, you can go move to that country. I used to lie to him. I didn't like my course, basically. I hated my drama course. It almost put me off the thing I loved. If you are doing a subject now that you love, be aware that every course is different in the country, every single course. It will be run completely differently to other ones. So it might put you off the thing you love if you choose that subject just because of the name of it, and then you realise, oh my god, I didn't check out the assessment style, the content of it. Was there an interesting person teaching me the thing? Was it more academic? Was it more practical? Was it the thing I wanted, basically? And I hated it. I ironically developed most of my acting skills at uni, not in my drama degree, from talking to my dad on the phone. Lying, basically, having to act, because I was too scared to tell him I was hating it. And he used to say, how's university? And he wanted me to say, Dad, I'm hating it, I don't know what I'm doing. And I used to say, I was like crying at the time. I go, yeah, Dad, it's great. Yeah, it's really, really good. Absolutely loving this thing. I made such a good choice. And one day I just burst, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I just basically, you know the weird hiccup crying? You probably last did it when you were about 5 years old. You usually see a kid dragged through Tesco, off their feet, swinging off their mum's arm, through the Haribo aisle, usually. And they go, and you all did it. Everyone's done it. You probably start doing it when you're about 5 or 6. And it's that horrible thing, you can't get the words out. And you go, Becky, playground, bitch, Facebook, and you're doing all this stuff, and someone's always saying to you, breathe. You always go, breathe, which is, you want to punch them. Because when someone says breathe to you, it's the one thing you don't, you go, come on, breathe, don't make it worse. You tell them to breathe, alright, I can't breathe. It's one thing, Mum, I can't breathe, alright? You're making it worse, leave me alone. And you start getting even more annoyed at them. And my dad just said breathe, and I'm like, I can't breathe. And he heard me say 3 things. He heard me say wrong, he heard me say the word choice, and then he heard me say this word I'm going to talk about, which is employable. I didn't even know I knew that word. I was like, why have I just forced this word out in my lowest moment in life? Why have I just said employable? What's that? And I started to question it for the first time. My point is, don't leave it till you're in something you don't like to start questioning, oh yeah, what does employable mean to me? What does it mean for me to be employable? Don't wait till that moment. Start thinking about it now. That's what I want to do in this session. If you want to listen to me, just start thinking. I want to get you thinking, that's it. I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want to get you thinking about what employability means to you. Because we've got loads of different people here. We've got early years, health and social, motor vehicle, media, all these different types of things. I'm not here to tell you what to do in the future. Go and do those things if you genuinely, after this session, go, oh yeah, I think that would make me happy. Because that's what employability is. It's basically you knowing how you want to be happy. If that makes sense. So I'm going to go through that in a bit. Okay, so that's who I am. And that's what I'm doing here. First thing I want you to do is I'm going to put up a phrase on here. And I'm going to do this a few times in the session, just so you're not just listening to me. So you guys get to relax, you get to talk about stuff. Or if you don't want to talk about it, you can just sit there and think about it. Or you can discuss it with someone next to you. But I'm going to put up some stuff, and then I'm going to give you 60 seconds on each of these. And after the 60 seconds, I'm just going to ask you, you won't know who I'm going to ask, but I'll ask you what you think that thing means to you that I put up. Be personal with it. Don't give me a Nobel Peace Prize winning clever answer or something you think I want to hear. No. Tell me something genuinely that comes from there. Because if I know what you're feeling about this stuff, I can really shape the session to help you. Alright, so here's the first one, alright? So 60 seconds. What does that mean to you? So you can talk, you can relax, you can be loud, you can do whatever. You've got 60 seconds. So, let me ask some of you. Okay, I will ask. Right, cool. Sorry, now I'm gravitating towards you because I heard some sounds. So, what's your name?
James.
James, you alright? How you doing?
I'm not that bad, sorry.
Good, I'm fine, yeah, I'm tired, but I'm not. You guys are tired. I was always tired as a teenager. I need sleep. So, what do you think it means, James?
Do something that you kind of wanted to do for a while, or something that you want to do, but enjoy what you're doing, don't kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great. That's a really good answer, genuinely. It sounds really weird, doesn't it, when you're just being obvious?
Yeah.
Because it does, doesn't it? Because you're just like, well, it's something you want. You said, you emphasised the word, when you said it, you emphasised the word want. You said, well, something you want to do, as though that's a really odd thing. And it feels really weird. The reason I like doing this interactive bit is because it forces you guys to actually think about really obvious stuff. Because the obvious stuff, when it comes to employability and choices, you often skip over. You think you have to be clever about it. You think, oh, it's to do with other people and what they want from me. No, like James says, be really obvious. The amount of students who don't even think about that. They don't think, hang on, what would I actually just enjoy getting up on a rainy day? Like, this is May outside. It's horrible. We have about 11 and a half months of winter in this country. It's awful. It's not nice weather. Most days you get up in your life, you are going to be getting up in a nice warm bed, looking outside at the window, and you'll be going through in your head, why do I want to get up today? What do I have to go and do? First thing that runs through your head, you go, what's the point in getting out of this nice place that I'm in right now? You look at it, it's raining outside, and you go, it's July, why is it raining? It's cold. And it's all about that. You've got to want to do it. You've got to find the want, and often the want is that. You've got to love it. You've got to love what you're actually doing. So that's a pretty good answer, James. And just to balance out, I will ask girls. So I'll go girl, guy. And if I ask you, I won't ask you again. All right. So, hi. What's your name? You knew it! You knew it was going to happen. Yeah, but you've got an easy one now because I'm not going to ask you anything else for the rest of the session. So, similar to James, different to James. In your own words, what does it mean? Again, be really obvious. Be really simple about it.
It's for the same thing.
Good. Oh, yeah. It's a compliment.
What he said, like, if you really like doing something, like, you should get a career in that because you like doing it, it's interesting, and make you want to do it, motivate you and drive you and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to drive you, it's going to motivate you, you'll be surprised. If you love something...
Inspirational.
Inspirational indeed, yeah. It's very good. It's really good. If you like doing something, weirdly, and I know this myself, it doesn't feel like you're studying. It doesn't feel like you're having to learn something. I do a lot of stand-up comedy, acting, I do the Edinburgh Fringe, I do gigs around London, and it doesn't, if I have to learn a script, or I have to write something, to then learn it, to go and perform it, never feels like I'm studying. That's studying. Whether it's learning, my cousin is a mechanic, alright, so he has a very different type of learning to me. It's the same thing though. He says it never ever, when he's learning his mechanical stuff, and cars and motorbikes, he said it never ever feels like he's learning. Because he's just interested in it. He loves it. He's curious. He wants to get good at it. He wants to get to the point where actually, people say boasting's a bad thing. It's quite a nice thing. He likes it. He says, when I can tell people I can do stuff that they can't do. But then, he says he's just as interested to hear from someone who can do stuff that he can't do. So he says, oh, I can do all this stuff that you can't do. Tell me some stuff I can't do. What do you do? Oh, you do something different to me. That's cool. So he's really curious. In his spare time, he's just like watching YouTube videos about mechanics or reading blogs into the night about mechanics and cars and aerodynamics and stuff. He loves it. I watched the Formula 1 with him and he's like, oh, do you know why the car's doing that? And why they do all this? And I'm going, oh, it's like a lecture hitting me. But I love it. And he loves it because he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't even realise I was talking about it. That's something. You're always talking about something to someone else you don't even realise. It probably means you're quite passionate about it. probably means if you studied it, it wouldn't even feel like you were learning. You just like getting good at it. So if you really love what you do. 60 seconds again. Here's your question. What does that amount of hours represent? And it is to do, I'll give you a clue, it's to do with every single one of you. 60 seconds, go. Okay, so there's always someone, it's great, there's always someone working out on a calculator. Why not? What's your name? Kieran just said to me, is it the amount of time you're asleep? Is that right? Collectively in your life. Have you, what's your name? Was it? Georgia. Cool. So Georgia, what do you think? So you were working it out.
Yeah, I was working the sleeping thing.
You were working out the sleeping thing. You were like, how many hours do I sleep? Did it come up as, is that the amount of hours you're asleep? What do you think?
I don't know, I just got to 1 month.
You got to 1 month. Alright, yeah, so I should have given you longer. I wish that was the amount of time. I told you, I love my sleep, alright? I wish that was the amount of time I'm asleep. That is actually the amount of hours the average UK male or female, because males are longer than guys, males are longer than guys. Tired, I told you. Guys, philosophical question for life. No, females live to, on average in the UK, 81. Guys live to 78. So I meant females live longer than guys. That is based on 79.5 years. So the average UK human, you will live on average to 79.5. That is the average amount of time you will be alive. It doesn't seem like that long. When I worked this out, I went, what? I don't even get 1 million hours. I don't, what? When you get to 20, quarter of that, gone. Alright, 1 in 4, gone. Alright, that's a quarter of that's gone.
My God.
You spend about a third of that asleep. Spend about 8 hours on average, a third of your life asleep. You need that, by the way. You don't have to sacrifice that to kind of live on. You need your sleep. So a third of that you're asleep. What else does it go on? Well, it goes on the amount of time you think about other essential things. Sleeping, you have to do. What are those things? Eating, you have to do, don't you? And the other end, you have to do. So toilet, eating, that takes up years of your life. This is stuff you haven't got a choice over yet. This is just essential stuff. Sleeping, eating, that stuff. Commuting, the amount of time on average you'll be watching some kind of screen, whether that's looking at your iPhone, an iPad, watching TV, the amount of time, it'll probably make you want to do it less. Although IT, are you IT guys? Yeah, you're something like that. Okay. But then, you've got only one segment really, which is actually what's called pure time. Actually one segment of the amount of hours of your life, about 7th, where you actually get to just think, what do I want to do? The rest of it is stuff you just have to do. And then the final segment, that one, is this amount of hours. About 1 in 7. So if you round that up to 700,000, you round that up to 100,000. So 1 in 7. That is the amount of time the average UK human will be in work. Literally in work, doing some work, alright? Being employed in something. It's quite scary. 1 in 7. And we discussed it, didn't we? James, Hannah as well before. Why would you want to do something when you've got the choice to do? To stop right now and think about it and really plan your life from this day on. Why would you choose to do something that you don't like just for, and this is usually the reason people say, money. They go, just do things just for the money. Hate your job just so that at the end of the day or on the weekend you can enjoy it. You won't. I've seen it. Trust me. I've seen my friend, he did a job just for the money. He thought he was going to do that till he was 40. Yeah, I'll retire early because I'll learn loads and I'll basically hate my life for 20 years, get really tired doing something I don't like. But then I'll be able to use all the money after that, retire and just love it and start my life at 40. No, he quit it after about 4 years because he could not hack it anymore. He was like, I literally, do you remember I said it's as simple as he went, I looked outside in the morning, didn't want to get up. Could not drag myself out of bed to do that thing. On early mornings, when it got stressful, long hours. And he said to me, at least, you know, you get your weekends. I went, no you don't. And he went, why? I said, because when I see you in the pub on a Sunday, you're not enjoying your Sunday. All you're doing is complaining to me. You won't shut up. All you're doing is complaining about your job and having to go back to it tomorrow. So you're not even enjoying your time where you're meant to be escaping work. Right, so you've got to think about this stuff. You've got to think, actually, if you only get a certain amount of hours in life, surely, mess around for quite a few of them, do stuff, you know, go on holiday, but when you know that about 100,000 hours you're going to have to enjoy. And by the way, my dad, that's the average. My dad owns a business, he's there 7 days a week. He loves carpentry. I love that he loves it, but it's not my thing. But I admire him because I look at him and I go, wow, we struggled to get him on holiday. We struggled. He says, I don't want to go on holiday. I love my company. I want to be in my company doing work. Often he won't be at home. He'll say, just come and meet me and have a coffee at my factory. Because he loves it. He doesn't want to not be there because it's his thing. He says it's basically his hobby. I don't think he'd know what to do if he quit work. Because it's his main hobby. He absolutely loves it. He says every single day for 40 years of doing this, he said, I'm still learning. I love it. I'm revising, I'm learning basically every day. I love it. And I reckon he's probably done his one of that is probably about 200,000 hours. He loves it. And that's something to do. Make work not feel like work. There's a really famous saying by a famous philosopher called Confucius. And he said, choose a job you love and you will never work a day in your life. And he said that centuries ago. He was one of the only ones who probably knew that wisdom centuries ago, because let me tell you two things that will make you really think about, wow, I need to choose something I'm actually going to enjoy. And to take the time to do it. It might be that you get to 20 or 25 or 30 until you properly know what you want to do. It might be 40. I know people who've changed careers after 10 years. It might be that you enjoyed that thing, but you went, you know what, I want to try something new now. But that 10 years wasn't wasted, because you go, man, the stuff I learned, it taught me just as much about what I didn't want from life as what I did want. You can do a course, you can do a part-time job. I remember work experience, internships, volunteering, that kind of thing. You might do it for a week and go, this is not me, alright, I do not want to do this. That doesn't mean it was wasted. It doesn't mean if you do a course at college it's wasted just because you don't spend the rest of your life doing it. It can tell you just as much from doing something you don't actually like doing or you don't connect with. It can tell you just as much in a week doing that as what you therefore do want to do, because you've got something to compare it to. So don't ever consider anything wasted. Throw yourself into things, because I said I'd come back to these two reasons. These are the two reasons. It's only recently, in the last century, I would say, that people have been able to do two things when it comes to work. Firstly, enjoy what they do. Work was never a thing you enjoyed. Work was something for centuries through history that you did until you could escape it. You can't do that now. You can't. It might have been okay. Can you imagine like the 15th century? If you were born on a farm in France, you were just expected to run the farm. That was you. That would be your life sorted. You didn't even get a choice in what career you wanted to do. Be lucky you're born now. Because where do you think your surnames come from? Like Smith. Blacksmiths, family surnames came from the fact that, oh yeah, whole families did that career. You would be born into it. You didn't get a choice. If you were from like 1800 and you were born into a family of doctors, you would probably become a doctor. If you were born into a family of lawyers, you would become a lawyer. If you were born into a family of cotton mill workers, you'd probably become a cotton mill worker. If you were born into an agricultural family, you probably just took over the farm. If you were born in watchmakers, cobblers, these kind of things, you would just be expected. They were like, whoa, you get a choice. You will be, from the age of like 10 probably, you'd probably just be like, right, you're going to be trained to do this thing, because you saw your dad do it, your granddad do it, you know, whatever. So, think about that. You're lucky. I know the world is difficult, trust me, it's stressful sometimes, but you guys think about this. You get a choice, firstly, a choice. Millions of, I think billions of people through history haven't even had that choice. You get a choice to just sit down and go, actually, yeah, what do I want to do? And the second one is you get to enjoy it. You can actually choose something now that you can enjoy as a career that people didn't do in the old days. My case in point, do you know what the Latin word for job or business is? Negotium. You can see where the word negotiation comes from. Negotium. This is what Roman civilization, one of the founding civilizations of the Western world, the way we live. Negotiate was their word for job or business. And do you know what it breaks down to? It breaks down to not enjoyable activities. That's what a job was. It'd be like, you going to your not enjoyable activity today? Yeah, I'm going there for about 12 hours. Alright? What am I doing today? I'm waking up, I'm going to my not enjoyable activity, alright? That was what you'd spend most of your life doing, would be your not enjoyable activity. You can enjoy it now. You can choose something that you can enjoy. I know the route to choosing something and developing in that thing and being employable in it will be difficult, but consider the first stage, you get to choose it. You get to think, actually, I could enjoy this. If I do enough research, if I throw myself into doing some experience in it, talking to people in the industry, talk to people now, be curious about it. If you want to be a beautician or a DJ or a ballet dancer or an engineer or a nurse, whatever it is, talk to those people. Find someone who's doing it now and say, what do you get from this? Why do you get up on a rainy day and do this? In IT, you know, say to people who do it now, say, why do you enjoy doing this thing? Why does it get you up on a rainy day? So find out to see if it's similar things to what you like. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds again. Think about this. Not only this phrase, I'll give you a clue. 60 seconds, think about what you think that means. The difference between that bit and that bit. With everything we've just discussed. And I'll give you a clue. 2 pictures. How does that phrase represent those pictures? That is 2 different ways to choose a career. So 60 seconds. We've got, I'm just trying to make sure it's balanced.
Why is this shot?
Go. So I'm going to go. Okay, so we're going to go around here. Okay, so hi, what's your name? Charlie, you alright? You good? Alright, good. So what do you think it means? Yeah? So make a life, not just living. What's the difference, do you think, between, which one appeals to you more? Let's put it that way. The road. Why? That's a great point, yeah, you have to wait for a train, the cars, there's more freedom in a car, isn't there? You can just choose where you want to stop, where you want to turn. You can go with your instincts more. You can go, let's turn off here instead of that, which is great. It's a really good way of thinking of it. Actually, there's a set route. You can't just say to the train driver, can you just turn left here or stop here in the middle of this field? That's quite nice. I want to get a picture, I have a picnic. You have to just go, no, you have to get off at the other side. Also, does anyone know what that is? London, yeah, London Underground, okay. It's in the name, underground. There's no scenery. For half of the underground is above ground. But let's go properly in the centre of London. It's all underground. You go under on these huge escalators. You get on Piccadilly Circus. You go on the Piccadilly line. You go off and you get off somewhere else like Green Park or something. There's no scenery. There's none of that. It doesn't have that appeal. When you're on a tube, which is what's called the tube in London, you can't see anything. No one likes going on the tube in London. No one likes it. And that's precisely why. There's no scenery. It looks the same. You're going through, it's cramped. You've got to just wait until you get off. You've got your headphones on. No one talks to each other. Headphones on. It's horrible. And you just like, get me off the other side. That's all it's about. But why do millions of Londoners and tourists who come to London, why do they use that? Because it's the quickest way to get from King's Cross to there. You'll just be like, get me on the journey. And you hate it. Basically, it's about the journey, isn't it? You hate the journey doing it, but you suffer it just to get to the other side. Do you remember I said that story about my friend who quit a job after 4 years? It's because he chose it based on that. Didn't like the look of it, didn't want to experience it, he just zoned off when he got into the job. Every day, he said he didn't even feel human. He just blocked his senses off and just went, just do this job. And then he went, at 5 o'clock, I kind of feel like I'm living again. Why did you want to do that? Why? Because his idea was to get from there to, let's say, there. And that was just that tube stop just said, money, relaxing, escaping the job. He broke down about there. Alright? So don't choose something when you're not willing to actually enjoy the journey. To live it, breathe it, taste it, actually go with some of the difficulties, actually relish the unknown as well. If actually, I'm aiming for there, but it's not always about the destination. It's about every day, am I going to enjoy the route doing it? Do I like the look of it? It's about the journey. Because for most of us, it'll probably be that. Well, it's in England, alright? It's Route 66, but you know, can you make that actually quite a picnic? You go, I don't mind going out. I don't mind getting up in the rain and going to that. People make employability a really complicated thing. I've had to employ people with Push. I've had to interview people. I've been on the side of it where I've done auditions. My God, an audition is an interview, just on its feet, often. I had to do hundreds of interviews in my life. I've come to understand it from both sides, right? Often, and my dad as well. My dad employs about 50 people in his factory. He's told me about what he looks for in people. He just says, it's passion. Turn up. Don't turn up at 10 o'clock, maybe you turn up at 5 to. Maybe actually, you use your lunch breaks or afterwards, you constantly want to learn. My dad says some of his employees are coming up to him going, oh, can you show me how to do that can you show me how to use that new tool? Because I want to be able to like round that corner. And I'm like, okay, and they're like clearly passionate about it, you're interested in it. You don't pull a sickie every Monday. Because, oh sorry, yeah, so I'm just feeling ill. Oh really, you went to the pub last night? Okay. No, you want to actually be there. So think about this. Don't worry if you don't have a clue yet. What you want to do with your life. Okay? Most people don't. That's the secret most people don't tell you. Most people don't. I had no idea when I was 17. But I was brave enough when I had potatoes thrown in my face to at least stand up to my parents and just say, do you know what, I am a bit different to you. It might be that your mum's a nurse. Great, you want to be a nurse. Fine. Your mum works in social care, you want to go and work in social care. Your mum works in a primary school, you could want to go and work in a primary school. But do it because you actually want to. All you need to do right now, just think about that. The journey. Getting on a path that you'll enjoy and knowing that whatever you choose to do right now for the next couple of years, let's say till you're 25, the next kind of 7, 8 years, you'll think, actually, I want to look back at 25 and go, whatever I did, that stuff was useful for whatever you then go into. So, yeah, most people don't know what they want to do, but don't use that as an excuse. Don't just park your car on the side or sit there in the middle of a tunnel not doing anything for the next kind of 7 years. You know, just reassess it. Reassess it at 25, see if you're getting that. What do you want from life? I don't know what you guys want. What do you want? I mean, students tell me all sorts of things. Some of them are weird, some of them are funny, some of them are very honest. But this is all things that you guys have told me. Don't shoot the messenger, because if you think any of these are weird, you said them to me, alright? But have a look at those. Try and pick 3 that matter to you. If you had to get up on that rainy day, so, I'm really quickly, if I point at you, alright, I just find me, rat-a-tat, just find me your 3 things that matter to you the most when it comes to why you want to do a job. Why you want to get up in the morning and spend that 100,000 hours doing that thing. What would be your top 3 reasons for the feelings it would give you? Because yeah, there's some materialistic things like yacht money, but often the people I've seen who are most employable, basically they love what they do and they turn up to do it every day and get better. They're the people who don't focus on the material things, like, oh, I do it because I want a nice watch, a nice car, a nice flat. It's actually the feelings. Do you wake up and you want to help people every day? My friend's a midwife. My God, that is difficult. She wants to help people, so that's why I do it. It gets tough, but actually, my God, my team are amazing. I've made lifelong friends. I turn up and do this difficult job and we get through it together. My cousin, who is a mechanic, all right? My cousin who's a mechanic, he loves it and says, I'm helping people. I'm helping them so they can enjoy their car. Breaks down, I'm the one who fixes it. I love that. I love that feeling of fixing something. So, very quickly, your top 3.
Travel, friendships, developing a talent.
Great, yeah, developing a talent, so you never stop learning it. What was the other one? Travel and friendships. Friendship, yeah, making friends. What about you? 3. Travel, friendship, and comfort. Yeah, feeling comfortable. What does that mean to you? You mean just like feeling relaxed in what you do? Not feeling anxious, not feeling stressed, not feeling overwhelmed in something? What about you? Just because I like your jacket, I would steal it if I could. Burgundy looks good. What about you? Top 3?
Family, happiness, and knowledge.
Family, happiness, knowledge. Yeah. And that one is important, of course, because if it's not giving you that, it's not a job, is it? It's volunteering. So that is important, of course. But focus on the feelings, because the main thing it comes down to, trust me, is that. It's really simple. If you are happy doing something, and you take the time now to work that out. Throw yourself into things, see what makes you happy. You genuinely feel more empowered. It's that comfort thing that you said. You feel more empowered and able to stand up to people and say, this is why I'm choosing to do this thing for me. If you feel more empowered and you choose good things, well, you genuinely see this thing, this career, this thing of a career and having a job, it's something that's actually quite enjoyable. Like my dad, you actually want to get back to it. You actually miss your time doing it. And if you have career fulfillment, that's basically what that means. It's like a Jenga block. All builds on those. If you don't have that, you pull that away, it's going to crumble. So you have to do something that makes you happy. Because actually, if you look at the shape of this, it's about this. That is the most common phrase, most popular phrase, used when we at Push speak to employers in all different industries about what they want from you. They say, what do we want from 17 to 25-year-olds? So, you know, if you were what they call entry level, if you were starting in that industry, that's the most common thing they say they want. Not the finished article, not the perfect person, they say that. Rounded person. So because you know, whatever you want to go and do, every employer is probably going to ask you, or they're going to be thinking about, are you a rounded person when you apply and when you actually go in for an interview, or when they're testing you, because basically your first 3 to 6 months in a job, that is an interview. You're still being tested. They're deciding if they want to keep you or not. So, I'm going to tell you what it means. Slices of a pizza. That's the easiest way I can think it breaks down. Firstly that. Hard skills, that's your first slice. You need to develop those. That's part of your roundness. Hard skills doesn't mean they're hard to do. Hard skills means job-specific skill, which is basically the name of your courses. Hard skill, early years learning, health and social care, motor vehicle, media, public services. Whoa, what did I do? Oh my god, this is incredible.
That's what I was
I was about to call one of you guys. Job-specific skills. Hard skills. Right. Second one, soft skills. If you are amazing at a job, don't worry. If you're amazing at a job, you can do the hard skills. You are the best mechanic in the world, you are the best nurse in the world, you are the best IT technician in the world, but people don't like working with you because of your attitude, because you can't work in a team, because you can't problem solve. You're always going up to people going, how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, and they're going, take a bit of initiative, go and figure it out yourself and impress us by going to figure it out yourself. If you've not got basic literacy and numeracy, I'm just talking basic math skills, basic English skills. Maybe that's writing letters, writing emails, and you're always making typos, or talking to people on the phone, communication skills. That's all that. Transferable skills. So you need a mixture of those two. You could be the best carpenter in the world. My dad would not want to work with you if you were rude to the rest of the team and you didn't turn up on time, you weren't punctual. That one. Knowledge, obviously, often why you get a qualification, piece of paper which says, I have got this stuff in my brain, I've not just got the skills, I've got the knowledge for it as well. Your attitude, like we talked about, getting up and actually wanting to be there, how you behave, your personality, people want to see that. How do you stand out from 50 other people? Because the average now that you will be going against when you go for a job application, it will be 50 other people. On average, sometimes it will be less, sometimes it will be a lot more. There might be 1,000 people who want that job that you're applying to. How do you stand out from the other 50? Often, it's this stuff. If you all look the same on paper, that's why at Push we've done it. We get you in for an interview because we want to see that. We want to see, have you got a personality that fits? Do we just click with you? Can we see genuine passion? Because you can't see that necessarily from a CV. These are more the things you'll write on your CV. And then this one, final slice of the roundness is that. Who you know. They often call it social capital. So it's capital. You're building this thing up. You're building more and more. Basically, networking. That's why I said, get to know people in your industry. The amount of jobs that come around, or the amount of placements or opportunities that come around for you, as opposed to other people. If you get to know people in your industry, you get talking to them, they like you, they say, oh, come in, oh, I'll talk to my manager about you. to start getting to know people. You can do that online as well. LinkedIn, get a LinkedIn profile. It's like Facebook, but for employers. You have a profile page, but it's like a professional profile page, and you can link with employers. Instead of add them as a friend, you link with them. So LinkedIn. And you see, you start getting a combination of those together. You don't have to have all of them, but employers want to know you're at least building up certain things and you're aware of them. So being employable is really being rounded. Finally, guys, there's the slices. Those are those pizza slices. I've just put them as squares now, or rectangles. You only ever get those from 3 places. So focus on these 3. The next 7 years, think about what you enjoy and how you're going to get these things. You're going to get them either from that, qualifications, educating yourself, studying stuff. You're going to get from that. Educational training, being on your feet, or a practical course, people showing you, come and look at me, I'm going to show you how to do this, and you learn, and they assess you, and go, yeah, you can do that now. Education training, all that one. Being in a work environment, because just because you can do something in a classroom does not mean you can cope with it yet. There. So volunteer, placements, talking, that includes networking, talking to people about what is this experience actually like. For someone who, someone who's actually in the industry, pick their brains and say, tell me actually what the pressure's like or how different the environment is, so you know whether you could do it. So you get those 3, and the good thing is they all help all of those in different ways. So finally, guys, what is employability? What's that? It's just that. The ability to be employed. 3 steps. Firstly, what it takes to get the job. Remember I said they're always still assessing you in a job. Just because you've got the job, yeah, great. If you're rubbish, you don't turn up, you can't do the skills, the experience, the knowledge, you build those things, they'll go, bye, we'll get the other person we interviewed last, 2 days ago, and we'll give them a try instead. So they might get rid of you after a week, after 2 months, after 3 months, or after a year. They say, do you know what, it's just not working anymore. So what it takes to get a job, firstly, that's actually the easiest part. Then it's that, what it takes to keep the job. And the third one, what it takes to get on in a job. What it takes to keep going in it, to develop, to maybe get pay rises, promotions, more opportunities. Go higher and higher in the industry, go and work for another company because you're now really desirable. So what it takes to get it, keep it, and actually develop it. So really it's about that. Do you remember I said I'd come back to that word? Adding value. How valuable you are. Think about employability, just think that. It's about how valuable would I be? Or how valuable can I make myself? And that's the rounded person. That's what you're developing over the next 7 years. And also, this is important, feeling valued in return. Employability is only ever 2 people. I only ever have to worry about those 2 people. But work out, get inside both their heads. Firstly, you. What do you want? Because both of these people have something they want and something they can offer. It's a trade. That's it. It's just a trade. If you wanted to sell an iPhone, that's something you can offer, isn't it? What would you want in return? You probably want some money for it, so you would just give it away. It's the same as this. What do you want? Well, you want happiness. What can you offer back, though? Oh, sorry, what do they want? They want that. We've discussed that. If you can offer back the thing they want, and they can offer back to you the thing you want, can you see how actually it's just a mirror? That's it. But you need to think about all those 4. You need to think about, what can I offer them? Or sorry, what can they offer me? If you explore an industry, work out not just what you want from life, would they give you the things you want from life in that industry? So what does this really mean? Well, guys, it means understand the employer and the industry, not just turning up, but being there. Actually wanting to be there. Be the best you can be. Think for yourself, take the initiative, problem solve, know stuff, know when, what and how to ask for help, solve problems, don't make them, and offer solutions, not problems. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. And all I ask you to do, because all Force asked me to do, to run this free session for you, is, I'm going to give these out now. They take about 60 seconds to do. That's all I ask you. If you can do this for me, it makes my job easier, because I have to go and hand the forms back to Push. But basically all it is feedback. All Push do and all we exist to do is help you guys. We really care about what you think about this stuff so that we can constantly make it what you want to hear and if you found it useful. So if you could do that bit, and also the yellow bit. The yellow bit means these guys and us there, we can help you more. I'm going to send you the slides anyway to this. And we've got some good YouTube videos you can watch, like 90-second guide on employability. So it's basically this bit in 90 seconds, so you can get that. Keep looking at those tips. But we can send you a monthly email. One email. We don't give your details to anyone else. It's just on our mailing list. And it's one email. And it's a really nice email. It tells you things about employability, gives you links to events and opportunities coming up in your area, because Force will provide us with those. They're running loads of other things for you in your area. So if you like those, please do the top bit as well. As a minimum, do all of the yellow and white bit, but you can decide whether you want to put your email address down or not. And then at the end, just kind of leave that bit on your seat. I'll click that in, and you can take that.